couple of years ago, Activision had a patent that said they could nerf players mid-game. If a player is playing really well, that they're going to make their accuracy worse. If a player is playing really bad, they're going to make their accuracy better.
That's fucking illegal.
Alright, so I've heard a lot of streamers complaining about, they're nerfing my guns, it's in the patent, the games are rigged. This is the patent right here. As you can see at the top, methods and systems for incentivizing team cooperation in multiplayer gaming environments. This is co-op. This is not player versus player. There's a big difference between co-op and player versus player. This is the application that Activision filed September 2017. It was granted February 2020. It is active. It says right at the top, methods and systems for incentivizing team cooperation in multiplayer gaming environments. Computer-implemented methods and systems for simulating a multiplayer game environment to allow players of different skill levels to concurrently play the same level of a gaming session. To encourage and incentivize cooperative team behavior to match players based on subjective variables such as likability and a general fun factor, and to tailor gaming content based on the social group itself. So everybody's always, they're nerfing me, they nerf my guns. So if we go down to here, this is co-op. This is not player versus player. This makes complete sense to do if you're playing against bots and you're playing with your homie and your homie sucks and you're good. This makes perfect sense. Anyways, it says, for example, in a first shooter gaming environment, when a first player aims his weapon at a target, a parameter defining the tolerance of how accurate the player's aim must be to hit the target is modified based on the acquired skill level of the player. The computer assigns the tolerance for how accurate the player's aim must be to hit the target differently based on the skill level of the first player. A player having a higher skill level will be assigned a lower tolerance parameter and therefore will have to be more accurate in aiming in order to hit the target. A player having a lower skill level be assigned a higher tolerance parameter and therefore could be less accurate in aiming in order to hit the target. Co-op, and I'll get into this later about co-op, but I will leave a link in the description. You guys can all go read the patent yourself, and it's not player versus player. Call of Duty, why would they rig their games? That's stupid. You're playing pub matches nobody cares about. They're out to get me. No, they're not. For the people that do not know the difference between cooperative video games versus player video games, here it is right here. Cooperative video game, often abbreviated as co-op, is a video game that allows players to work together as teammates, usually against one or more non-player character opponents, PvE. It is distinct from other multiplayer modes, such as competitive multiplayer modes like player versus players or deathmatch. Playing simultaneously allows players to assist one another in many ways, passing weapons or items, healing, providing covering fire in a firefight, and performing cooperative maneuvers, such as boosting a teammate up and over obstacles. Co-op. Multiplayer modes. They're completely different. Another thing to think about. Nevada to allow Call of Duty League esports betting. Yeah, I'm sure Activision's like, let's go rig a bunch of games and get sued by the federal government for rigging a bunch of games. It's stupid. They're not rigging your games. The issues are the server and latency. That's why they play LAN connections during these big tournaments.